Hello, Item7Deals lovers. How is everyone doing, guys? So today we are gonna be making Onugbu soup, bitter leaf soup. Ouch! This is a very sumptuous meal. Like you can see how it looks. You can see the aroma. Can you perceive it from your screen, guys? Okay, guys. So ahead we go to start by boiling our cocoyam. I have much cocoyam here because I'm making enough soup. Alright, so I'm also gonna be boiling my bitter leaf. This is already washed bitter leaf, so I had to boil it to make sure that the bitterness is out. So after my cocoyam is soft just like this, you see on the screen, I will have to peel it off and blend it. So I'm checking the texture and I will right ahead put it in my blender and add my yellow scented pepper, and I'll be blending this to keep it aside while I continue my cooking by putting my goat meat. I'm using goat meat for this recipe. I'm adding just my 1 seasoning cube and then I'm going to cover it to boil. I added salt, and meanwhile I'm just gonna be washing my dry fish. I have dry catfish and I also have okporoko. I soaked for some minutes in cold water so it brings out all the dirt from the skin. So I'm gonna be rinsing like 3 times and then keep aside. So next thing, I'm gonna check my meat. It has boiled very well. Okay, at this point it's about 70% ready, and I will go right ahead to add my dry fish and stockfish. And after this period, I'm gonna add a little salt. I added just a pinch of salt in the meat, so this is enough salt to cook everything I need to cook. And then I will be adding the quantity of water that will be needed for this recipe. You can see my coconut was much, so my cocoyam rather was much, so I added enough water. So I'm gonna allow this to boil while I added my ogiri. Without ogiri, you are not cooking bitter leaf soup. So guys, I'm gonna allow this to boil very well and mix while I added my blended cocoyam. I blended it with my scented fresh pepper. Oh my god, this combo is heavenly because the aroma will chase away my neighbors. All right guys, so I'm gonna be adding my red oil. Be generous about this red oil. I like my soup to come out very bright. All right, so I'm gonna cover it to boil. It's not time to give a stir. So after it boils, just like this, it has blended naturally on its own. So I'm just going to add my crayfish. You have to be so generous about the crayfish also in this recipe. So I added enough crayfish to be able to catch the quantity of this soup. And then I'm going to give it a very good stir. I'm going to give this a very good stir. My soup is gonna be thicker than this just because the egg they just dissolve, and it's still gonna be thicker than this. Even after it gets cold, you might even want to add water. All right, so I'm gonna be introducing my Titus fish. I'm using fresh fish for this recipe too. It's optional though, but I like the aroma in Onugbu soup. So I'm gonna still give this a very good stir and cover it, allow it to boil so my fish can at least get ready. So at this point, it has boiled for like 5 minutes and I know my fish will be ready by now. So the next thing I'm gonna be doing is to introduce my vegetable, which is the onugbu leaf. At this point, I have made sure that I tasted my onugbu leaf and there is no any trace of bitterness in it. Some people do not like their onugbu so much. I prefer my onugbu to be so much in my soup because I like chewing vegetable. Alright, so I'm gonna give this a very good stir. After I must have added all the onugbu leaf, you can see I have a generous amount of onugbu leaf in this recipe. If you like to make your onugbu small, that's on you guys. Alright, so I'm gonna give it a very good stir. And I cover it or allow it to boil and give it another stir. At this time, our soup is 95% ready. Like I told you before, when this soup is getting cold, it will be a lot more thicker, and I don't like my soup to be even thick. Alright guys, so our soup is pretty much ready. And then, oh my goodness, it is the taste for me, not even the looks. The taste of this soup is so heavenly. Everyone that enjoys this soup was like saying and commenting a very good review. Alright guys, so at this point our soup is ready and it's out of the stove. You are just gonna allow it to get cold a bit, or you can serve it hot. Alright, so I'm gonna be serving it to some people that like hot food, and then Tana enjoy with any swallow of your choice. Bye bye guys, and see you next time on another recipe. Guys, take us to 1K on YouTube. Bye bye, see you next time.